Imagine never guessing again. Imagine knowing down to the intervention what actually works for APOE4 carriers like us. Not theory, not hype, real results from real people tested together. Here's the big news. The Phoenix community is officially partnering with the nonprofit APOE4.info. For those of you who don't know them, those are the OGs of the APOE4 world with decades of experience. And we are partnering with a global network of experts and researchers. In fact, I'm currently on a round the world trip right now to meet all of them. And together, we're building something that never existed. A platform where APOE4 carriers, people like you and me, run structured real-world experiments on the things that actually matter. Think supplements, advanced molecules, sleep, sport, and stress optimization, diets that really move the needle for you. We're talking about clinical trial quality, but for N equal 1. And here's the best part. This is not just coming soon type of fluff. We actually built an alpha version of the platform. It's live, and right after this intro, I'll give you a quick tour so you can exactly see what we are talking about. So stay tuned. And remember when I said we're building this thing for you, well, that's not exactly true. We're not building this for you. We're building this with you. Because this only works if it serves your real needs, not just what we think you want. So I need your help. I have launched a super quick 3-minute survey to figure out what features and experiments you actually want, not what some experts think you need, what you need. And if you want to go deeper, you can book a 30-minute call with either me or Dr. Emily Cole. She's an APOE4.info board member, an action research pioneer, and soon to be author on this exact topic. So this is a no-nonsense conversation, just two people obsessed with solving APOE4, building what we wish existed years ago. All right, let me show you how the alpha works and what we've built so far. So inside the Phoenix experiment, you have actually 4 different modules: the blood test analysis module, the Phoenix experiment itself, the journal, and then the pod matching. So the blood test analysis is where everything starts. You actually upload your blood test directly here. It can be any type of PDF. We're using AI to get all the values out, and then you get a score and a category breakdown across cardiovascular, metabolic, inflammatory, hormonal, nutritional, and cognitive, and you get a score here. Then we give you insights that are APOE4 specific. Then you can also see all the results that you have in the biomarkers. They're classified by the status. Are they high? Are they normal? And so on. And most importantly, those ranges, you have the normal range, but you also have the APOE4 optimal ranges, because that is extremely important. We are very different compared to the general population. So it means the values that are optimal for us are not the same as the ones for the general population. Once you want to go deeper inside each one of those, for example, ApoB here, you click on detail, you have your current status, more information about this marker, why this is important for you as an APOE4 carrier, the relationships that this has with other biomarkers, low inflammation, LDL-C, and so on, and then the protocols to follow to lower that value. You also have a trend analysis to see how it progresses over time. And when you log your experiments, you can see how each experiment impacted the result. So you have that for all the different biomarkers. Once you have done this, you can directly move on to the second part, which is the Phoenix experiment. In this module, you have all the protocols that you can follow to improve on those biomarkers. So you have a list here. We're adding more and more protocols, and the values inside are also in the process of being validated. So focus more on the form than what is inside each one of them. If we look at, let's say, creatine, you'll see that for each one of those, we have a specific reason why we should do that. The duration, how long it takes you to do that daily, what's the cost per month, what's the evidence level that it brings these benefits. You'll also notice that each one of those elements are properly sourced. So you have all the references, I'll show you later. Then you have the summary part of how to run this protocol. You have the exact protocol afterwards with the step-by-step instruction, any additional note that you should know, the tracking and success metrics. So how do you know that this is actually working for you, right? So you have the biomarker tracking, what you should measure and the frequency, and then the functional tracking, what you should measure and the frequency. We're also giving you the success threshold. What does it mean that it works or not? We're also giving you safety and other considerations, like what you should synergize this with and other safety note. For this example, you don't have any negative interaction, but for other interventions, you have these ones that are there, any common obstacles that you might face, expert tips on top, additional information, and a full research report. Before we dive into that, you have all the references below as to why we are building this protocol this way. And if you really want to dig into it, we have a full research report here that gives you all the details. So you have that for all the different elements in those protocols. So you are not just following some random hype, you're actually following the latest science that is proven as best as possible. Last but not least, what about all the different experiments and interventions you have tried in the past? Because maybe you have known your status for decades and you've done a lot already. So I've heard your feedback. This is why we have this third module called the journal, where you can basically enter everything that you have done in the past, so the AI can learn from that, can suggest the future interventions based on the past interventions that you have done. So we get a holistic view of everything that you have tried from the moment where you started running these type of experiments. So logging in these experiments is actually very easy. You enter what interventions you tried. You can enter that in an open text format because the AI is able to process this information. You then pick a category, the start and end date, or if it's still ongoing. And then you will enter your protocol and your dosage details and how much adherence you had during this entire period. So for example, if you forgot half of the time to take your pill, then put adherence 50%. Then your primary intervention tags. So that helps us categorize it. And then you enter your outcomes and experience. So how was your cognitive function, your energy level? You can add notes. So basically, this helps you journal everything that you have done in the past, all your overall experience. This will be processed by AI. And then you can finally enter all your blood work that you can upload to show basically the before and after. We are also adding integrations with your wearables, let's say your Oura Ring, your smartwatch, and so on, to get really the best holistic view of the result of these interventions. And then you create the experiments and it's logged into your profile, and the AI is able to learn from what worked for you, because then it's using that to match you with other people who have tried similar type of experiments. Hope you liked it. Hit the link in the description below. Take the survey, shape the future. This is your shot to be part of the next big leap in APOE4 health. Let's defy the odds together.